Good morning, madam. I lost my travel bag on the train. I was wondering if you could help me.
Of course, sit down, please.
Thank you very much.
First, let me take some details. What's your name, please?
My name is Paul Smithers.
Smithers, could you please spell it?
Paul Smithers, Smithers.
All right. And when did you find you lost your travel bag?
Yesterday evening. I just finished a whole day's paperwork and took the train to return home. I was completely exhausted.
Yesterday. Today is the 15th of July, so it's the 14th. You said you were on the train when you lost your bag. Do you remember the number of the coach? Which coach were you in?
What do you mean?
Each coach has different letters represented its unique functions. For example, Coach A is for smoking passengers, while Coach B is for non-smoking passengers. So, do you still remember the number of the coach?
I don't remember the exact letter, but I do recall that I was trying to relax my brain with a cup of coffee. So it must be the buffet car.
Wait a minute, I'll check it up for you. You mean the buffet car? That's the Coach E.
Oh yes, that's it then.
All right, now tell me something about the bag. What's the colour?
It is a brown one with a small blue carton race car image at the bottom in the left-hand corner.
OK, I know. And what does it look like? What's the style?
What do you mean?
What kind of distinctive features does it have? Like, is it a box type or a soft one? Does it contain any pockets?
Well, it's a soft one on the rack. What's more, there are 2 pockets at the front. They have long straps and are made by nylon.
Right, got that. Did you lose any other things besides your bag?
My jacket, which is made up of leather, and my notebook were in it.
I am sorry to hear it. Do you remember where did you exactly put them?
Well, I walked in the coach, sat down beside my table, ordered my coffee, then, I found there was not enough space to put my stuff. So, I put them by the door, and I forgot to take them when I leave.
OK, I know. So how much do you think the lost item cost?
Well, my travel bag was about £100, but the leather jacket cost me £345 and the notebook. It is not worth much itself, but it contains all the contact I need. It's so frustrating.
We also need your personal information.
No problem, please.
Where do you live?
21 Kirke Street, Kierke Street, Canterbury.
Kirk Street. My cousin also lives there, and I went there sometimes. A quiet street, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Have you ever been to the park at the corner of the street end? It's very quiet and beautiful. My aunt and uncle like there so much that they go there almost every week.
Not yet, but I'll certainly try there sometime. Let me see. Where were we? Oh yes, your postcode.
GW432HA.
Phone number.
321-8892.
OK, I think that's all we need at the moment. We'll contact you as soon as we have any information on them.
Thank you very much.
You'll hear a talk
You're welcome.
given by a tour guide who will introduce you to one of the most fascinating places called Dinosaur in Canada, known for its incredible prehistoric landmarks and unique attractions.
Hello, everyone. I am Joe, your tour guide, and I welcome you to this wonderful place. As you must have seen outside, this place in Canada was built to preserve and showcase some of the most interesting landmarks in the world. I am here to give you a brief introduction of what we have and where we would be going on this tour. We will begin our tour by exploring the awe-inspiring display of the world's largest dinosaur bones, which are truly magnificent in size. It is at the foot of Rocky Mountains. These remarkable fossils have been excavated and date back over 100 million years to the Mesozoic era. It's worth noting that during this visit, you will have the opportunity to observe around 170 meticulously preserved dinosaur footprints. Furthermore, on our upcoming trip next year, you will be delighted to witness an even greater spectacle with 190 footprints in larger sizes. It is truly remarkable to imagine the immense size of these ancient creatures. We highly recommend embarking on a night tour. This is because the true beauty of this place reveals itself under the cover of darkness. Rest assured, it is an experience unlike any other you have encountered. Prepare to be amazed by the breathtaking sight of the illuminated skyscrapers in the CBD area. For our second location, you can have a chance to explore Stikine River Park. We have thoughtfully installed artificial lights that will make you forget it is nighttime and immerse yourself in the early past. Of course, we also offer a daytime tour as an alternative, but there may not be as much to see during the day. The next stop is one of the places that displays Canada's rich mineral deposit. We have a huge reservoir in this area, and you might see some workers working in the area, and I can tell you that you can find one of the largest uranium deposits here in Canada. There is also an agricultural development site here. Plans are ongoing to expand it in the nearest future. And don't miss out on checking out the nearby rest area by the highway. It's the perfect spot to snap some awesome photos and soak in the stunning views. Trust me, you'll have plenty of chances to capture jaw-dropping images that will totally blow your mind. Perhaps the most special feature of this third stop is the presence of raccoons in Science Center Museum. Oh my, these are so beautiful, and their blue color is just amazing and always makes them stand out. Raccoons are many in the area, and they are quite intelligent and curious creatures, as you would see. You also get to see a river at this stop. Though it's not the longest, it's one of the cleanest in the world. So, as you relax, you get a very great view at this third location. This river is devoid of a lot of contaminants usually seen in rivers, and the government has taken extra precautions to ensure that it remains so. To embark on this wonderful tour, of course, we would need transportation, and this has been well catered for. You would have noticed a lot of horses in the area while coming in. Yes, you can ride on the horseback as we go along, but this mode of transportation would require a permit from the authorities. So once you have your IT, you can go see any of the handlers as we move. If you don't have, there is no problem. The primary mode of transportation here is by boat, and they have boats available for use. As you may have been informed, exploring on foot is more enjoyable, but it can be easy to get lost in certain areas without proper road directions. It is advisable to have a tour guide or travel in groups. In terms of the inner city bus, it is not accessible during this time of year. However, if you return in 2 months, it will offer a different
You will hear a student,
experience.
Millie, and her professor, Mr. Fraser, discussing medicine courses. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
So, Millie, you've scored very highly in your exams this year. You won't have any trouble being accepted into any course you choose. The most popular course available is clinical nursing. Will you choose that one?
No, Professor Fraser. I've thought about nursing, but I have decided against it.
May I ask why? With your skills, you could excel.
I'm concerned about the difficulty of the course. Apparently, it's not easy to get the diploma. Since I may not be able to complete the assignments, I feel apprehensive about starting a course I might not finish.
It's a shame you feel that way, but you have other options available. Have you thought about the surgical operation course?
Biology is a prerequisite for that course. I haven't taken that course yet, so I probably won't be accepted.
This year, we're offering some other alternatives during summer school. If you complete these courses over the semester break, you may have a chance. They are not that difficult.
I'm not willing to put in the effort it requires. Honestly speaking, I'm more interested in the personal interaction side of medicine. Are there any relevant courses I could apply for?
Certainly, sociology is beneficial, especially if you wish to further your studies in paediatric care. During the class, you will have the opportunity to work with people of all ages, but in particular, young ones.
What career prospects are there for me once I've completed the course?
Believe it or not, many students who complete the sociology studies go on to work in a different field. They find it a rewarding and fulfilling career to work with people who have disability and help them improve the quality of life.
I see. That sounds great. Thank you.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
I'm just not sure what I want to do with my life. What do you suggest? Would you recommend studying 2 courses at once so as not to limit my options?
Many people have done that, but it's difficult. Studying one course causes enough stress, and adding another course would be extremely challenging. You could try a different subject other than medicine, but I recommend you find the exact branch of medicine you want to study and put your focus on that.
The health and social care course is popular. Though I'm interested in this subject, I am not sure whether I should choose it. Are there enough grants for it?
Yes, I guess so. It has acquired a lot of financial support recently, so your research possibilities won't be limited. Also, I do know that Professor Rhodes has a good reputation. He's one of the most respected professors in his field.
Oh, yes. I've heard the professor is world-renowned, so I will definitely go for it.
All right. Then how about occupational therapy?
Well, my sister studied this subject last year. She says it's very difficult.
Perhaps it is for some students, but generally it can be easy for a student who majors in medicine. Actually, the textbooks used are published by our school, and the writer is a teacher in the medical department, so if a student finds them difficult to understand, he can get quick response from the teacher for clarification, which will be of great help in occupational therapy research.
That's really great. And I also heard that the textbook is quite easy to follow, but I'd prefer a hands-on career rather than combine myself to a research role, so I probably will think about other courses.
Whatever you choose, Milton University is the best school for you, and I highly recommend it. The lecture theatre is kind of old, but last year the Ministry of Education handed out grants to the top universities, and Milton was on the list.
What's been upgraded? I heard they developed a new medical facility.
Not really, but they are going to do that. Although they did spend a large amount of money on the existing medical department. The entire building was renovated and new equipment was purchased.
I'm still having trouble making a decision. Is there any information on this school's website?
Yes, and you will find some details you need to know there. Some people have found it useful to discuss with graduating students the benefits of studying their subject. But in terms of familiarizing yourself with the content of the course, you could do no better than talking with the tutor and getting to know him or her.
Perhaps I'll try that. It's not that I want to choose an easy path. I know that only through hard work can I excel in any field. I just have so much trouble making up my mind. I know there will be funding and scholarships available for particular courses, but I can't choose.
By all means, discuss your concerns with other teachers.
They're all quite busy, you know. I'll think about it. Thank you so much for your advice, Professor Fraser.
You are welcome.
That's the end of part
Part
3. You now
4.
have half a minute to check your
You will
answers.
hear a lecture about the development of the tunnel linking France and England. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
The strip of sea separating France and England, which in English is simply called the Channel, is only 34 kilometres across at the shortest point. But in the days of sailing ships, the strong currents and fierce storms made it difficult to cross. In favourable conditions, the voyage took 6 or 7 hours, but it could equally well take days or even a week. In 1750, a competition was launched in the city of Amiens in northern France for a scheme that would improve trade links between the two nations. The committee awarded the prize to an engineer who proposed a tunnel, though the technology and manpower that it required were simply not available at the time. Half a century later, the idea resurfaced. In 1802, during a break in hostilities in the war between France and England, a French mining engineer put forward another scheme for a tunnel. The scheme was supported by the Peace Party among English politicians, but the resumption of war dashed their hopes. By 1850, Europe was much more industrialized. In 1867, a French hydrographic engineer presented his government with a proposal for a tunnel to carry trains. As regards the engineering, this was quite feasible. Tunnels through the Alps were under construction, and the Suez Canal was nearing completion. A committee was set up in the following year to explore the possibility, and in 1880 they started excavating to build tunnels from both coasts. But British public opinion turned against the idea, and in 1882 the government put a stop to the digging. The notion of a fixed link didn't go away, however, and in the 1920s the idea was put forward in Britain of a tunnel with its entrance half a kilometre out to sea, linked to the coast by a bridge. But in the economic climate of the 1930s, neither country could afford the vast undertaking of any sort of tunnel. During the 1950s, the idea was again considered seriously. But it was not until 1985 that it was finally agreed and the two governments staged a competition for the best proposal. The committee came down in favour of the tunnel for trains and shuttles only. The reasons that were given largely centred on the finances, which were considered to be the soundest put forward. It was also thought that, compared with the alternative options, the technical risks of the tunnel were considerably reduced, not least because as a pure engineering exercise, it called for little in the way of innovative technology. In fact, solving logistical, environmental and other problems created more headaches than the engineering. The tunnel was regarded as the safest way for people to get across the channel, and unlike a bridge, it wouldn't impede shipping. Excavation of 3 tunnels started in 1987 from both sides at once, and the first one to form a continuous link between the two countries reached its breakthrough point in December 1990, just to the French side of the international border. The tunnel was eventually opened to traffic in 1994. The system consists of 3 tunnels. The 2 outer tunnels, which carry the shuttles and trains, are known as running tunnels. They're each separated by 8 metres of rock from the smaller service tunnel, which goes along the middle between them and is used for maintenance. Every 375 metres, the 3 tunnels are linked by cross passages, which provide ventilation and easy access for maintenance. Once the high-speed train link between the English coast and London is...
That is the end of part 4. You now have 45 seconds to
Audio
check
is
your
specially
answers to
made
part
by
4.
Ielts Mirko Telegram channel. If you want more, join my Telegram channel, Ielts Mirko.